How's it going, guys? Welcome back to today's video. So for anyone that's new, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining in. After searching YouTube and different videos of an inner CV boot on the passenger side of a VXR or an Astra H even, couldn't find much. There was a couple that said they did, but then instead of just changing the boot, which is all I need to do, they changed the whole drive shaft, and doesn't really show you how to do the joint and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do today. Hope you enjoy the video. Stick around. Thank you for watching. Okay guys, so sit rep. As you can see, the gate is well and truly gone, and it's actually shot all the grease all up around under here and everywhere else. So yeah, it's not great, but what I've done, my son, thank you for your help, kiddo. Hello. Has pressed the brake for me, and I've got a 34mm, was it 34 mate? No, 32mm on here, and I put the screwdriver in just for that added bit of stopping so that the disc obviously doesn't move, bit of force. So that's a 32mm, I've got that off. That's hand tight, well no it's not, it's probably a bit tighter than that, but it's loose enough for me to be able to turn it the way the setup is. And what I'm going to do now is under here, if I can show you, oh, getting into it now, there you've got, I'm pretty sure is an 18mm. Let's have a check. Yep, 18mm, and we're going to undo this, and then there's one at the top as well, and we're going to take the brake caliper off and the carrier. Then after that will be the grub screw there, then the disc can come off, and then I'll show you the other little bits that we're going to be taking off. Right, so like I said guys, underneath you've got an 18mm. It might be worth giving some of these bolts a bit of a squirt with some penetrative fluid. I've said that wrong, but yeah, do that, and then it will help obviously ease some of the bolts out, because some of these may not have been out before. This one certainly feels like it hasn't, so I'm going to squirt the rest up and get those undone, and I'll show you the next step once we get there. Right guys, as you can see, the caliper's off and I've tied it up to the spring. You don't want to leave this, you know, hanging down here or at the front somewhere, because it's just going to put pressure on the rubber pipe, and that's just going to cause you more of a headache. So now that's out of the way, we're going to get the grub screw off. So because I've took the caliper off, see if this will work. Stick that in there, hold it with one side, undo, silly person, there we go. So get the grub screw out, take the disc off, and then I'll be able to show you a bit more easily what components you need to take off next. So guys, I was getting ahead of myself a little bit. I've sprayed this one up, and as you can see, I've managed to get all of it off. I've just left it there for now. So I've sprayed all the ones under there, which is obviously this nut, and then there's the bolt on this side. I've managed to get, you can get an 18mm, just a normal spanner on this side. You don't need no deep reach or anything like that. That can hold that nut while you use your ratchet to undo this side. And then once you've got it all the way off, you need to try and separate at the back. It's like that, and as the bolt goes through, it pinches. So obviously when you've undone the bolt and took the bolt out, you need to try and open the gap up so that we can get the bottom ball joint to drop out. So that's what we're going to do next. And then my top tip, we will show you once we get up to the engine bay, because we've got to get to the drain plug and the fill plug as well. Okay guys, I've got obviously the bolt off this side, that's nice and loose. I've just come to take the bolt out, and it looks like it's almost welded on, so I'm going to have to try and sort of file that down, pick off any bits of, I think it's just where like the rust has got in, and obviously it sort of creates like almost like a seal, I suppose. So we've got to crack that and then try and get this out, because as far as I'm aware, this bottom ball joint, the pin that comes up, you can just see it at the top just there. As it comes up, it's got like a little notch in it, and that's what the bolt goes through. So obviously without the bolt coming out, the ball joint won't come out without breaking stuff. So try and crack that off, and we'll go from there. To be honest guys, that came off a hell of a lot easier than I expected it to. where this bolt was obviously on there, I got a little flathead screwdriver, and this is a very small, almost like a pick, and just rubbed it all around to try and get all the crap off. And you can see it's all on the floor here, look. So I did that. Then I got a bit of a thicker screwdriver, yes, this one broke, put it in there, gave that a wiggle.
Remember any of the rap that you did?
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I'd like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure.
And then tapped the bolt out from this side, so it came out here. That's actually come off quite easily. So like I say, I've had my screwdriver in there, giving that a bit of a pry open. Just going to hit this a couple of times now to try and get the ball joint to drop out of that hole. So that is the next thing we're going to be doing. Right, okay, that actually came out really easily. A couple of taps on the side of it here just to sort of loosen it up a bit, and then taps onto the top of the wishbone, and it's dropped out. So now take this tie rod off, and then we can pull the hub forward and tap the drive shaft back out that way, and then at least that's half the battle. Then we will go up to the engine bay and I'll show you where we've got, well, what we've got to do up there. I know it's a bit of a strange cut, but this is now day 3. First day I ran out of time, second day, yesterday, I only got a little bit done, and then it started absolutely howling down. Do you ever get the feeling you shouldn't have started something? So I'm going to crack on now, do a little bit more. I'm going to get the bonnet up, and obviously I'm telling you this here now because you might not see my face too much down there with the sun glaring off my head. So let's go down there, we'll lift the bonnet, and I will show you that top tip I was talking about earlier on. Under here you've got the fill plug, so you're going to have to undo all this first to make sure you can undo that fill plug. If you can't undo that fill plug, do not drain your box oil, because you won't be able to fill it back up. So that was the top tip. Usually what you'd do, you would start draining the oil. Just try and get out of the sun. You would start draining the oil first, and then start taking all that stuff out, like the battery tray and all that, just to get to the fill plug. But like I say, if you can't undo the fill plug, you ain't going to be able to drain. You're not going to be able to refill it, so you can't drain it. You shouldn't drain it. I know what I mean. I'm sure you know what I mean. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. Get the battery out, make sure we can undo the fill plug, drain the box oil, and then we should be able to pry the shaft out. With the battery removed, you can take out the battery box. 3 13mm bolts. There's one, well, there's 2 under the battery, and then there's one down the side of it between the battery cover and the fuse box. There we have it, guys, battery trays out, and that one was the one that I was talking about between the cover and the fuse box. Obviously that just bolts in down there. And then on top of the gearbox right there is the fill plug, and that is an 8mm, so we're going to remove that and, well, make sure we can undo that, and then once we've done that we can get back down under there and drain the oil. That is a 10mm hex key, and what I've had to do is cut one of my Allen keys down so it's got like a little stubby head on, because there's actually not a lot of room there. So obviously cut it down to be able to get it in and undo it. So yeah, unless you've got any shallow tipped Allen keys, then you'll need to get one and cut one down, because obviously this is in the way, and like I say, there's not a very big gap there. So we've drained all the oil, so now it is time, let's get out from under there, it's time to try and pry that out. This is going to be a bit of fun. I'm not too sure how easy or hard it's going to be, but from my understanding, if you get a pry bar under the back of it, under there, and obviously lever that towards you, and pull on the drive shaft at the same time, it should come loose. So I will do that, and I'll update you and tell you how easy or hard it was. So guys, the shaft is out. I was expecting this clip here to give me a lot more resistance than it did, so that's good in a way. But yes, the shaft is out, and I'm going to take, obviously you can see where it's split, so I'm going to take this boot off by undoing this metal clip here, and then obviously same with this one here, get those off, and then we'll cut the rest of this off, clean it all up, and then we will disconnect this, like the shaft from this cup piece. I'm not technically minded, so I don't know, well, mechanically minded, so I don't know what this, does this have a name? Does anyone know? Let me know. But we're going to disconnect this, so yeah, let's clean this up. So as you can see, the boot is off and it's in the bin. What you can see here, just along here, there's a little ridge. In that ridge sits this little clip here that I'm holding on to. That's one side of it and that's the other side of it. And obviously when you slide this back across it, it clips around it so that it can't come back off. I hope that makes sense. So what you have to do is prise that apart enough to get it open to go over the splines that you can see here. If I wipe it off, you might be able to see it a bit better. Okay, so you can see that's one side of the clip there and that's the other side there, which basically allows me now to take this cup piece off of the actual shaft, so then we can slide the boot over, put it all back on, and then do the boot up. So I've got this back on. This side is a little tight to get on, but if you put a little grease from that around the inside of it, and then sort of pry it over this piece here, it will, you know, push down. So what I've done is move this down as far as I can. Well, not as far as I can, but enough. And then obviously in the box with this one I've got anyway, you should have grease. You got an absolute bomb load of grease in there. Just cake all of that, put all of this grease, because I've still got quite a lot of grease in that one left over. So I'm gonna cut the end off here, squirt all that into there, empty the packet, and then what I'll do is in there where that clip is, you can see this end is tapered. So once you start pushing that back down over the end of the shaft here, because it's tapered, it'll actually force the clip out, and then you can push it down until you feel it click into the groove that's there. So that's how we're going to do it. Okay guys, so as I said, we're going to get this back in there now. Whilst the shaft's out, it is actually a good idea to be cleaning all the crap up off everywhere, you know, and make sure there's no debris or grit or dirt or anything around that seal. So that is what I'm going to do. I'll clean all that off, we'll put the shaft back in, and then it's pretty much the reversal of removal. So it will be shaft back in there. I think then I will top the gearbox oil, well, put the gearbox oil in to make sure I don't have any leaks or anything like that. Then it will be shaft back into the hub, ball joint into the behind the pinch bolt, tie rod, brake disc, brake caliper, and I think that was about it. So then we can put obviously the wheel back on and we should be all good. There we have it guys, everything is all back together. Don't worry about the state of the disc, that will come off obviously once we start driving. So all bolts are all done back up, we're all good. So anything left to do now is take it out for a spin, and I'll catch you guys very shortly. Let's go, shush, let's go for a quick spin. First off, seems okay. Gone into reverse okay, we're moving. That's always a positive. Always get really worried doing, you know, after you've done stuff, then you sort of go out in the car just waiting for like a clunk or a bang. Hopefully not. I think we're good guys. I'll be very happy if we was. Go for a little circle around the front of my house. Turns to the side okay. It's always good. Well guys, if you've made it this far in the video, I really do appreciate it, and I hope you've learned something. I hope I've been able to help someone. I'll be honest, that was my first time doing an inner CV boot on the passenger side of one of these anyway. I did the driver's side one a couple of videos ago, probably a few videos ago, but that was different because of how you take the drive shaft off. There's like a link piece on the driver's side one because it's a longer shaft. I think I've just set someone's car alarm off, so whoopsie. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Got a little bit of a collaboration sort of thing coming very soon. Have you all seen these Carfumes? If you haven't, I'll leave a link in the description below. Go check them out. I've got a discount code there as well, so if you use the link you'll get 20% off at the checkout, and that's across all your orders, and it only applies to full price products, no sale items unfortunately. I wish I could, but it's just what they've given me. So check them out, and I will see you guys next time.